Alive. Well, hello out there, my parental compadres, and others who may be contemplating reproducing at some point. Jason, my friend, and I are the Parents Lounge podcast, coming to you live tonight, January 18th, 2022. And Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we serve as the proverbial canary in the coal mine of parenting. Wouldn't you agree?
There's a big yes. Yes, absolutely.
I feel like we as a collective are the harbinger of things to come for all. And when I say harbinger, I do mean the word doom. I
would go as far as to say harbingers of death.
Harbingers of death, yes. I mean, eventually, somehow, somewhere. But we're gonna be happy and funny tonight. Myself, Jamie Kaler, and my partner Jason Gowin will be joined by an overload of moms this evening, who will dictate whether we as a species will survive. So, thanks for tuning in. Our guests include a veritable who's who in the world of momming. Our resident moms, Clare Kramer and Kate Mulligan, are here to be the voice of reason in this topsy-turvy world.
Well, that's 50% right. The 50% Claire and the 50% not Kate.
Yeah. I mean, we'll apologize for Mulligan probably numerous times over the rest of the night, but Clare Kramer, she's just a sweetheart, isn't she?
She's a delight, yeah.
And Mulligan, of course, is, tolerable.
Yeah.
Only because she's funny, but otherwise it's just a train wreck. But it's beautiful. We're joined once again by one of our favorite moms from the Why Mommy Drinks podcast. That name alone, Why Mommy Drinks, is one of my favorite podcasts around. Improviser extraordinaire Betsy Stover is here tonight. And like most parents out there, we got a lot to get off our chests. So
much yes.
Yeah, so much. For instance, how I was forced to rent Sing 2 by my children this weekend. And then because we only had it for a 24-hour rental, they needed to watch it 12 times. They literally watched it straight for 2 days. We're going to talk about Sing 2 a little bit.
Impressive, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good the first 15 times. Quick reminder, if you're listening to this show on iTunes, be sure to subscribe. Do us a favor, would you please, and write a fantastic review. Come on, people. We're in this together. It really does help. And it also makes us feel really good when we see nice reviews. I love when people don't read their reviews. Please, everybody. I only read the good ones. That's all. If you get a chance in the future, try to watch along with us live every Tuesday here on Facebook, YouTube, or even Twitch, where you can comment along with us in real time and get a little shout out. And if you know a parent who is contemplating faking their own death and moving to Bali, which I know I could name 20 guys right now who are really thinking very hard about that.
Not me, actually.
Besides the two of us, there's others as well. Be sure to share our show with them. It might honestly help. We can't tell them it'll get better, but we can tell them they're not alone in their pain, which I guess makes everybody. Misery loves company.
Here for you.
That's right. And now we're going to play our opening theme song, which will give you just enough time to pour a big, delicious drink and come back for your weekly laugh therapy here in the Parents Lounge. And off we go. Hit it, Jason.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents Lounge is the cure to staying sane.
I mean, come on, man. We got our own theme song. We must be doing something, right?
It's my kid had me downloaded on MP3 so that we can listen to it in the car.
That's the saddest thing I've heard all day. Yeah. We got a great show. Let's bring in some moms so that we, as dads, are outnumbered.
Well, that's everybody.
Clare Kramer, Kate Mulligan. Where is she? And our very special guest, Miss Betsy Stover. Hi, Bets.
Hello. Whoa!
I feel you. Really quick.
Bottom row's rowdy.
What's the number one reason moms are drinking these days?
Omicron.
Omicron.
Yeah.
I'm going to just sit back and let the moms take over because honestly, I love it. I love it when you guys are all here because I don't have to do anything. I just get to sit back and enjoy the ride.
Listen.
Yeah, what's making me drink? Contact tracing.
What's making me drink? My 4-year-old who can't be vaccinated yet.
Yum, yum, yum.
And I'm with you both on that. Zooming is making me drink. Any additional Zooms? I'm like, why don't you hold up on that? We've only had 850 in the last year. I'm good. I don't need to Zoom to talk about what the COVID protocols are. Just send me a text. Better yet, not even an email. I just want it in an SMS message. Send that.
You were pulling double duty because you were doing like Instagram lives and stuff too.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I got roped into.
We were watching you. I watched you host Buffy the Vampire Slayer panel. That was super fun. Super fun.
That was really fun. It was really fun. I cannot believe it has been. I can't believe 25 years since the show, but 21 years since I created the character Glory, which is really just crazy. And I don't think I could ever at this age, being the artist I am now, I look back at that and I'm like, I don't even know what I did. How did I do that? I was fearless. I'm not fearless anymore, guys. I'm fearful.
So wait, if they rebooted it, would you come back? Would you reprise Glory again?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And you know what? Glory didn't die. She did kill Buffy, but she did not die. If you follow the show, she had a being that she was living in, Ben, and Ben died. And when Ben was killed by Giles, Glory body jumped into Giles. And I am sticking with that story because that gives me a spinoff or a chance.
Hold on. You kill Buffy?
I killed Buffy.
You did, yeah.
Dude,
Wow.
spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
What the? I never saw the show.
It's been 2 decades, Kaler. Jeez.
Well, now the moratorium has passed. It's out there now,
Now I don't need to see the show, but I'm going to watch it anyway.
Can I ask you guys something real quick? A number keeps calling me from Chicago, and then I got a text saying, "This is Sunny. Please call me back here." If they call again, can I answer on air?
Of course.
Okay, great. I'm going to go grab my phone right quick.
All right. First of all, Betsy, I want Betsy to read this one first. I believe you know this gentleman.
Yes, this is my husband, Arifukidis. He says there's a whole generation of kids that will never hear the word Zoom in a fun context.
That's true.
Right. Yeah.
They'll associate it with school and meeting. It's like a meeting.
Yeah, instead of we're going fast.
Was Zoom ever fun?
Yeah, we're zooming around town.
And then, by the way, he's the king of spoiler alerts.
Spoiler alert: Jesus died at the end of the Bible.
I don't believe. Was that the end of the Bible?
Yeah.
No, it's not even. It was like a mid-season finale.
Depends on if you're the Torah or the Bible. What happens next. I think that Zoom had a huge missed opportunity because, this pandemic shut us all in a room and the only technology we had all of a sudden was Zoom. Has it changed at all in the last 2 years? No. Have they upgraded? No. Have they?
Hold on.
No.
Claire, but you can wear a beret sometimes now.
I could change myself into a cat. Remember that lawyer that was like,
"Oh, that was the best."
I'm here, but I'm not a feline. The judge was like, "We know, okay."
That was worth the pandemic just to have cat lawyer.
There's been moments, but we all forgot about Tiger King. Now it's been too long. We've suffered. We have become Tiger King.
There's already a sequel, isn't there? Tiger King. We
did not get the traction. It did not get.
Are you guys even watching new shows? Last night, we watched Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh my god!
Have you seen it? It still holds up. I was like, so I don't know. Sometimes I try to start a new show and my brain's just not ready for new information. I
Then that's why
just start to lose focus, and I'm like, I get it. I see where this is going. I can't. And I'll just put on some old movie that I've seen like 50 times and just settle in for a warm cup of cocoa.
I've been watching that show You, which is new to me.
My wife loved it.
It's really good. No spoilers, Jamie. But you know, it's
Claire kills the guy at the end, doesn't it? Isn't that how it works? I feel like at the end of every story Claire's in, she kills somebody, but that's
And there's a deleted scene in Bring It On where she killed Kirsten Dunst.
I believe that. Mulligan's like she's multitasking. She's got like 4 Zooms going on right
Are
now.
you here today, or what is going on with you? And you're muted.
he's dealing with Sunny.
Yeah, because my husband came in and was like, I need something from the room there. And I'm like, I thought maybe you guys wouldn't notice if I faded into the background and just knocked on the fan. I thought you wouldn't notice. I thought you wouldn't notice.
We're already going to have to apologize for Mulligan numerous times here.
Okay.
There's a safe bet Mulligan will be the one not making it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, I got the white noise that he needed.
Actually, we should just bring Ari in. I mean, if he's sitting in the other room,
he is.
give him the link. Let him click. Let him come on. We could use another dude.
Yeah, we could.
Nice little
I
gap.
don't know about that. I'm pretty comfortable with the 3-to-2 ratio. I don't know. What about you?
Oh, please! I'm more than comfortable.
You know what, Jamie?
Honestly, it would be. Just send it to him, Bets. He should come in because it would be funny.
Jamie, the show, what you're talking about with like the nostalgia and like the comfort television, I'm really there with you. But that's why they created Cobra Kai. Okay, they created that for us. It's our show and it's our characters, and we need to binge watch. I mean, we watched all of season. I think it's 3 or 4, whatever the latest season is. The night it dropped with my kids, and they are super into it, and I am super into it. So it's a good bonding thing.
Love season 1. I feel like I do this with a lot of shows where season 1 I go, that was great. I get it. And then season 2 comes around, and for some reason they tried to almost like redo the same story again. Like Afterlife. I loved Afterlife with Ricky Gervais, where he's horribly depressed, suicidal. By the end of the first season, he's like, I'm actually pretty good. And then season 2, they didn't know where to go, so they just went back and said, no, he's suicidal again. And I was like, well, I remember that from the first season.
Should I just title
I got lost in season 2.
What, Susan?
Should I just title this episode "Spoiler Alert"?
We should just. You know what? You get like a week. If you don't catch up in a week, I don't. I mean, obviously Buffy, 20 years. I feel like I think that's
Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. I said it. He was dead the whole time. Okay, guys, he was dead the whole time.
The greatest reveal. One of the handful of greatest reveals in any film. Okay. I love it. You know what I love is when somebody goes, I saw it coming a mile away. I was like, no, you didn't.
No.
Never saw it.
Every time you watch it, you see things. Like the dinner scene where they're at the restaurant.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, I can totally see how, but, because she's not talking. It's like, we're mad, whatever.
Bring him in, Betsy. Bring him in.
Why is Ari funnier than the whole panel right now? Ari, how dare
That's what he does for a living. He's a comedic improviser.
How dare you, Ari?
He's a comedy writer. He's like live tweeting this whole show. He says that he's watching the kids. He could come in, but it might be distracting because our kids might run in and be insane.
Well, nobody's run into my room, so that would be.
By the way, what did your husband?
That logic checks out.
What did your husband need in your room, Kate?
You're gonna love this, Kaler. He took a nap today with one of the boys' white noise makers. So I got to be reminded that A, my husband got a nap, and B, I need to try and get him the white noise for the child to sleep with because it's bedtime now.
At least he remembered. My husband
Is your child going to bed now?
Yeah.
Oh God,
I'm so jealous.
That's so good.
Well, they're young. They're very. I mean, Claire. I've got 6 and 4.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Your 4-year-old will still nap?
Who just turned 8. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said your 4-year-old will still nap.
No, my husband.
Oh,
napped.
No, was he laying down with him, or he just himself went?
No, just my husband. Just my.
I also thought a child was with him.
No,
I did. That's how I thought it played out. But
my husband didn't want the children to wake him from his nap, so he took their white noise so he wouldn't hear the children.
well, play Dick.
Do you guys want me to bring him in? Bundle him.
This brings up a great point. My wife and I have naps. I am a strong proponent of naps.
Yeah.
My wife, like, if she sees me napping, she's like, I mean, it's like she's going to kill me in my sleep. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm tired. I'm taking a nap. And she's like, I don't think she's ever napped in her life. Not once. Are you guys nappers?
Big time nappers.
Yeah, you nap, Kate? You said yes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, but not today.
And
That's
are you like
the only reason.
Describe your nap to me. I want to know like where you sleep. Do you sleep in the bed or the couch? There's a big difference. And what is your like time frame of sleeping?
Well, I'll tell you this. If I sit down starting at 4 p.m., it doesn't matter where I am, I will not stay awake until 4 p.m. So I have to be on my feet and moving because 4 p.m. is night time. I shouldn't be in a car. It's like I don't know what. There you go, Randy. Daily napper for life.
This is probably a dad thing more so than a mom thing, but like if we're napping and I hear the garage door open, like my wife's coming in, I immediately jump up and then like fix the bed, put the pillows back, and then and then walk around like with some papers like, oh hey, what's happening? What's happening?
It's like the husband equivalent of like, mom and dad are home, hide the beer can.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. And except I'm not as drunk, but I'm slightly drunk. For some reason, it's just this spite I feel when I'm napping, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm napping.
I only resent other naps when it's on a day that I can't be napping at the same time. That's all. That's the only time where I'm like, oh, I didn't get a nap today.
So my buddy and I were there chatting, and say we go like if my wife called me that afternoon, she said, you're not going to believe what happened. A friend of mine has a place at the beach. She's invited me over, a bunch of moms. We're going to go tonight. We're just going to spend the night. We'll be back in the morning. Every dad is like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's fantastic. Yes, of course. Let me help you pack. It'd be fantastic. Reverse it. The dad says, oh my God, you're not going to believe it. My buddy's, he's got a house down the beach. He's having everybody over. We're just going to crash there for the night. My wife would be like, are you fucking high? You're not a chance. Do you feel that sometimes?
Okay.
What do you got on that, Mulligan?
Did you see the wheels start turning in her head? I saw it start.
Sorry. I don't know if I understood. So wait, I think...
Have you ever played the game Sorry, Jamie?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh no, this is the game of life, and I've lost it numerous. No, what I'm saying is that, like, even tonight, my wife was like, she's out with some other moms from the school. It's under the guise of like we're planning the Girl Scout troop, but they're down and having drinks at the local restaurant, right?
Okay.
But she kind of like threw it away to me, and I was like, yeah, have fun. I couldn't care less. But if I said, "Hey, I'm heading out," she'd be like, "Whoa, what are you talking about? Who's gonna watch the kids?"
Oh yeah.
Back up. Where are you going? What do you do?
Can I say, Kaler? This is the thing I want to say is that I think you have a very unbalanced relationship, and I actually don't have those same problems.
We have the same problems. I'll say that at our.
Thank you, Betsy, for your honesty. Mulligan, you lying sack.
I'm not.
I go away every year for a mom's retreat in the woods, and at least once a year or more, I go to a hotel for like a night or two.
Yeah, it's
by
great.
myself, and I don't even. I would say most of the time I will plan it and then just let him know. And if he did that, I would be like, "What the hell?"
Thank you for your honesty.
I'm going to show you the receipts. we both said after the pandemic, we're each going to get to take a trip. So he went for a weekend by himself. He's like, I want to go up to Nevada City. I just want to go camping and whatever. And then just the other day, he said to me, you know, something I've been wanting to talk to you about is that maybe we don't leave on Memorial Day because there's this festival I wanted to go to out in Nevada. And I was like, bye. I literally said, bye. And he's like, oh, well, he goes, it's like 3 or 4 days. I'm like, you can't scare a whore with a dick. Come on now.
Roll it, Jason. Roll this.
Yeah, that's where I was headed right now.
I don't know what's happening with Mulligan sometimes. The comments of Kate Mulligan do not reflect the moral and ethical view of the rest of the cast.
I thought that was really nice.
He had me at like as soon as he said I'm going to Nevada City for camping, I was like, have fun, brother. Even I'm out. I'm not going. I don't care if my wife lets me go. Not a chance.
I'm just saying, I honestly think the best thing in the world. Now, listen, if there was like an infant involved, probably that would be a little bit trickier. But we didn't do that. Like, we didn't do that as infants. I wouldn't go away. He wouldn't go away. I mean, I was nursing till the second one was 2, so there was no going away. But that being said, like I feel like the best thing is for both parties to get away because then we have an opportunity to miss
separately.
each other. Yes, separately. Yeah, bye.
Remember though when you were like new in your relationship, or even in like when you were newly married, and you would hear about people taking separate vacations, and you were like, "That is so sad. We will never be like that."
Betsy, yes, I gotta tell you, my sister-in-law was like, I was like.
Right now he's calling an Uber. There's an Uber on the way, right?
I gotta tell you, when my sister-in-law, when she had babies before me, and I remember her, I was like, what'd you do for Mother's Day? She's like, Billy got me a hotel room by myself. And I remember being like, what an asshat she is. How could doesn't she love her? And like, I gotta tell you, it's the greatest Mother's Day gift I've ever heard of.
I spend every Mother's Day alone in a hotel.
Oh, it's the
best. Do you really?
I do.
Yes. Bye.
Trisha Jean is like, oh my God, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone treat yourself. Why should Mother's Day be like a day where you're like
mothering?
Still mothering.
Yes. I want to be celebrated by being alone.
My biggest Mother's Day.
That's the problem, Trisha, is that exactly my wife has the same thing. She's just like this. And I said, you have got to let that go for your own mental health, especially after the last 2 years.
It is the one day a year where you don't have to feel mom guilt about that. Everyone wants you to be happy. What is Ari saying?
You know, your family.
Oh, yeah.
Your family may want you to be happy, Betsy, but my family likes to remind me of Mother's Day. Let's see, it would be almost 11 years ago, this coming Mother's Day, I think, when I was holding my newborn daughter, breastfeeding her, and she rolled off my lap, off my lap, and rolled all the way onto the floor. My 1-year-old sitting there being like, what's happening? So every Mother's Day, instead of gifts or, you know, any sort of hotel retreat for me, I get reminded of that story.
Yeah. And every Mother's Day, you probably have to do the star testing to see what kind of damage you did to that. Just to see where she is on the scale. She's still at the age of 3, Jamie. I don't know what to do with her.
You have a picture of her, right, Jason? The dancer. The one
I
dancer.
do.
She's still fine. She's 11.
Yeah, she's more than fine.
I mean, she seems like she's doing okay, unless like her leg is permanently in that position.
I gotta tell you, I'm gonna go roll one of my kids off a bed right now just to see if this happens in their future.
Maybe it works.
Is it like that old movie Rookie of the Year where like it like she fell, it like connected in a different way, so now she's just a superstar?
Right. So I'm good. But yes, no, Mother's Day is a day of reflecting on your mothering alone.
Yes.
I mean, everybody's kid fell off something, right? Like
Yes.
The first time my daughter rolled, she was on the bed, and I looked over, and I just saw it was like going over the falls, and I was like, boosh. And then I picked her up. I was like, never told my wife. I don't think I told my wife. I was like,
I'm also not telling your wife.
my oldest daughter, who is now almost 14, she'll be 14 in 2 weeks. I cannot believe it. She fell out of the crib and broke her arm when she was like 15 or 16.
Oh my God, what a nightmare.
Yeah, and it was because I thought I had lowered the crib. I was doing it by myself, and I thought I had lowered the crib to the lowest level, you know what I mean, where they can stand up or whatever. Turns out I didn't. So she took a just dive, and then she was like, she wasn't crying, but we kind of noticed like she was just like holding her arm, and she had this little slide in the living room, like one of those 2-step slides, little tyke slides that you go down, and she would like try to climb up and like favor her arm, and yes, it was broken.
Oh no.
That's why we get those crib nettings that are like little dog kennels for the twins so they can't escape.
The teepee type things.
Yeah, they're like these mesh things, and honestly, if we didn't have them, I don't even know that the kids would still be in the house somewhere.
You take the mattress out, put the mattress on the floor, and flip the whole crib up over the top of it, dude. You don't need a mesh.
Wow.
Mensa. That's a Mensa.
That's
you know how you were talking, Kate? It's pretty heavy. I'm not gonna lie. It was like one of those old traps on like Bugs Bunny where they had like the stick holding up the crib, and then when the kid hits the crib just falls down on it.
That's how we got him in there originally.
You know, you were talking about like I remember too before I had kids and before I was married, like my friends would be like, "Oh, my wife and I are taking separate vacations," and I was like, "Weren't you?" I was like. I was like, no, when I get married, I'm going to get married for love, and I'm going to spend every moment with my baby already. Now I'm the opposite. Now I'm like, before I had kids, I would see like somebody go, such and such father just left, deserted his children. I never understood that. I was like, what kind of dick would leave his father, would leave his kids?
Yeah.
And now, listen, I don't think I'm going to do it, but I get it. I can understand it. I totally get it.
That's how I felt about shaking babies. I was like, how could anybody, what's shaking baby syndrome? And then like you have a baby and you're like, oh, I understand.
Comments of Kate Mulligan do not reflect the moral and ethical view of the rest of this cast.
Well, she had none of these last week, so apparently we're playing catch up.
Mulligan, again, I don't condone it. Again, let's just all reiterate. We're not condoning it.
Hey, who among us hasn't shaken a baby?
A mild
So
jar.
define shaken.
That reminds me of people
letting your baby cry. That's the key. I recently saw this post on some mom blog, and it was like, I'm just not letting my baby ever get upset or uncomfortable so that I don't, once they learn to cry, they cry at everything. And at first I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But then I was like, but I also have a life and 3 other children, you know? So yeah, like strike that balance. I remember as a first, like with my first, I really never put her down. I mean, I held her, I carried her, I wore her, everything. And so
Hannibal Lecter? I wore her face
on my head. Now, but I really, really she never left my side well until the time I was like almost ready to give birth to River, the second one. And she was a great baby, but then life happens, if you have more than one, you can't do that with all of them.
Yeah, no, when you have a second kid, there's going to be someone who just has to cry and wait a lot of the time.
And it might be me that has to cry once there's a second kid.
Reading Michelle. When I was about 4, my mom left me in the car while bringing groceries in the house. She didn't put the car in park, and I was halfway out of the car and apparently started rolling down the driveway.
Michelle, twins. So my father had my sister and I in a car. He ran back into our house and he came back out, and the car was across the street in the lawn because I had been climbing over a seat and I hit it into reverse. So not twins. It was my own doing. But I remember my sister and I being like, uh-oh, the car's moving. Whoa, oh boy, we're going back. And like, thank God no cars like came into the street, but he literally came out. There was no car in the driveway and he looked across the street. We were in the neighbor's lawn.
Now, my guess is he dropped you on your head off the changing table when you were a baby, right?
Wait till you see my pirouette.
That's why you drugged him last week, huh?
That's why
That's right.
that's why I
She
dosed
did that.
him.
She gummied. Her dad gummied.
Gummies.
Okay,
That day, this is her ghost.
Betsy-
That's her to sleep. Oh no, Ari, that was not. That the reveal's not for another 30 minutes, please.
Oh, I've been dead the whole time. I gotta tell you, Betsy, not to scam on your man, but he's really making me laugh tonight. So
Pretty funny.
Super funny.
super funny.
It is funny. All the things that you like before you got married, you just. Another friend of mine who's only been married for like a year or two, a young guy in his late 20s or something. I had talked to him before, and I told him everything that was going to happen. The same way somebody had told me, and he's like, "No, man, we're in love." And last time I talked to him, he was like, "Oh yeah, we're in trouble. We're in serious trouble. We're hanging on by a thread." And I was
My God.
yeah, you get to a point where it just gets numb and it all kind of falls into.
I was gonna say the separate bedrooms. That is another thing. When I first heard about that, and when I was younger, I was like, "That is horrible. That is so sad.
Yeah,
their
clutch
marriage
those
is
pearls.
over." I know so many people with separate bedrooms, and the older I get, the more I'm like, "Well, that sounds nice. Some space just for me, and I can decorate it how I like, and no one has a mess in there."
Yeah,
that sounds kind of good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I have a big bit of it on my album, and I'm in shock every time I lay down next to this woman. I'm like, why are we doing this? Why is this happening? The kids have separate rooms. They haven't done shit in their life to deserve separate rooms. I'm trapped in a bed with another human being. What the whole thing is crazy.
I accidentally have separate rooms. I didn't mean to, but I acquired a drinking problem during the pandemic, and so every night I would just fall asleep playing video games. There was no school to get up for, so I would wake up on the couch, and my husband would come out, and he'd be like, "You know, you can come in the bedroom if you want." I'm like, "I know, but I can also fall asleep on the couch drunk if I want to." So.
Did you go? Was there Rosie Perez in there? What happened? That was awesome.
Just don't worry about it.
Did you drop some RP in? It felt like an RP drop.
Yeah, a little bit.
I listen. I drink and I become the women I wish I was. So.
Kate, invite me over, please. Come. I want to play video games and get into this life with you.
And she's already got all that free range floor popcorn going on, so there's plenty to eat.
I can hoover that up.
Hoover it up.
Hey, I want to ask you guys because Jason caught something on his Ring camera, and it to me it feels like I remember there was a time back in history when Ring cameras were originally for security.
Yeah.
So you could see intruders and stuff. And now it just feels like everyone's trying to get America's funniest home videos, and that's all Ring serves the purpose of now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's security still, the security of the safety of my children.
But I feel like 99% of the use of Ring is actually just to go back. Hey, what's
Ari?
You know what we're gonna do? We don't have the questions, but we're gonna put together not a newlywed game, but an oldie-wed game.
Oh,
And that's what we should do, right? And we have husbands and wives come on and we swap out and we ask them questions and see where they are.
Oh, I love that idea so much.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so your Ring camera, I feel like, because every time something happens, you're like, I mean, the camera's covering basically all of your property.
Correct.
So anything that happens on the property, I mean, you haven't had many armed intruders, I believe, but you have had hilarity with the children.
Yeah, this is now the third video in which my twins have caused problems for me that has caught.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little story setup. I went to the bathroom. The kids were playing in the middle of the kitchen floor with Paw Patrol cars. I thought that they were going to be fine because they were very content when I left the room. At some point after I left the room, they discovered that there were cans of soda also in the room.
Oh.
Let's join this story now in progress. Oh, no. Yeah. No. Yep. No. No, we don't shake. Oh, you little bastard. Now, what you can't see there very well is that it was shooting soda all over me and the twins.
You could hear it. You could
Well, you
hear
can
it.
hear it. You can hear it.
The kids loved it. It was raging waters. It was like a free.
Oh, they thought it was a big party. And of course, the Dark Lord was the one who's like, you know what? Blap on the ground.
I knew it was the Dark Lord. I didn't even have to. I wasn't gonna be like, which one's Anthony again? I was like, oh, the one that just dropped.
That's on you, dude. If they can get to it, that's on you.
That was on their mother. She left it in their reach.
All right. Well, that's on her.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a
thought you were-
major fight when she gets home.
I thought you were going to catch them drinking caffeine.
I thought so too.
What was it? What, Claire?
We all the women here need to know more about what soda that was. Was it a big K? Okay. Was it a Diet Coke? Was it a Sunburn? Sunkist?
It was a Diet Pepsi.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I saw the silver. Yeah, I saw the
Okay,
silver.
so someone has terrible taste in your house.
Terrible.
Everything I need to know about you and your wife is crystal clear.
Terrible diet.
For drinking
Terrible.
you.
Terrible. I can't even believe when I was a kid, I used to like Pepsi.
That Pepsi did it to itself. It's like
Now I can't even drink it. If I go somewhere there, Jersey Subs, they don't. They only have Pepsi, and it honestly affects me. I don't go there because of that. I want a Coke. I want old-fashioned Coke on ice, crushed ice.
I agree with you. And my grandmother, who born, bred, raised in Ohio, died in Ohio, so small town. We'd go to like the local Bob Evans, and she'd be like, "A Coke, please." And they'd be like, "Oh, we only have Pepsi products." And she'd literally scowl at them and be like,
Yeah. Burn the place down. Not drinking that crap, Ola.
Well, obviously, my kids don't like it either.
Did you have Claire? Did you have a can? You have a can story as well. I feel like, Claire, don't you?
well, it's more of it's a bottle story, but it is a story. So, in my never-ending quest to try to feed my children healthy food, because they deserve it, frankly, and not just a Pollo Loco every night. I had this idea for the past week and a half that I was going to make this pulled pork recipe in the crock pot, because that is also my mojo. Is crock pot easy? Put it on, let it do its thing, come back, serve it. I don't need to. There doesn't have to be a lot of interaction between me and the dinner. Put it in 5-10 minutes, whatever, done. So this was going to be a pulled pork recipe. I had shoestring fries and broccoli and Hawaiian rolls.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Betsy, were you confused about the 5 minutes in the crock pot as well? That was.
No. I'm saying I put it in. It takes 5 minutes to put it in.
And then you leave it. And then you leave it for 8 hours. Because if you're in a 5-minute crock pot, I gotta get one of those.
I'll live my best life for 8 hours, and then I can come back and dinner will be done.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
Jamie, I don't know what my face was doing. Sometimes it just does its own thing.
Trust me, I get that. I'm with you.
Here's the problem. Food, particularly snacks or beverages, do not last long in my house. And this recipe called for a bottle of 18 ounces of root beer in the crock pot with the pork. That's the only thing it called for was root beer.
Yeah.
So for 7 days in a row, I had a can of root beer, a bottle of root beer to make this recipe. And each day a kid drank it before I got a chance to make it. I would hide it. I hid it in the back of the cabinet. Then I hid the can of the bottle. It was an 18-ounce thing of root beer from the drugstore. Then I hid the root beer in my, medicine cabinet. Then I hid the root beer in my closet. They found it every day. They sniffed it out. Up until today, I finally got to make the recipe. It took me 7 or 8 days.
This was like Elf on the Shelf, basically.
Oh, it's the saddest elf on the shelf.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I really want to see the 18-ounce bottle of anything. I'm pretty sure there's 12 ounces and then the 16 ounces. There's an 18-ounce bottle of root beer?
Maybe it's the 16 ounce. I don't buy canned drink.
Again, Mulligan, you know what I'm talking about, because we played a bullshit game with you had to tell a story and then everyone else had to dictate whether it was bullshit or whether it was real. And Claire had this insane story that had so many holes in it. We're like, well, that's obviously made up. She's like, no, that's exactly totally true. Like details, like, so I opened this 18-ounce bottle of root beer. There's no bullshit.
But here's the thing with my house, and God bless, everybody do their own thing. I have zero judgment. We're not milk drinkers. There is a jug of milk in the fridge. It will last 2 to 3 weeks. Usually we end up pouring it out. Yeah. And I don't buy any other there's no juice, there's no soda, there's no, Crystal Light, there's nothing.
Well, you can't, I wouldn't drink it either because you calling it milk. Nobody's going to drink milk. Is that your Ohio?
That's me too. That's me too.
Milk. It's milk. It's not milk. It's milk.
So, it's so bad. My daughter, the 11-year-old who you showed the picture of, said to me the other day, she goes, Mom, it is so sad in this house that I'm putting the vitamin C energy drinks in water so I can have something with flavor. And I was like, I'm sorry, but we're not a, we're a water house.
God bless. Ever since the pandemic started, it's just been fucking off the rails over here. There's Oreos.
They're actually doing rails over there. Your kids are actually doing rails. Mine too, Betsy.
All the things that I was like, we will never have that. And now it's just like, fuck it.
My daughter brings like a lunch. I just let them pack their own snacks. I didn't realize that parents were supposed to pack the snacks. So I look at it, but I also went to like Costco and just bought like the giant boxes of 24 individually wrapped Pirates Booty, Fig Newtons, and Mandarin orange cups or whatever. So she throws like 20 things in. And then the other day she tells me, she goes, I'm the only one who gets to pack their own snacks. I go, really? And she goes, yeah, every other kid, their parents pack their snacks. And it's like, carrots and cut up cucumbers and celery. And I go, let me ask you a question. Do the kids throw it out? And she goes, yeah, most of it. And go, yes. And that's part of the problem. So you have to have this deal like, they're just going to throw it out. They're not going to eat it.
We have to have a checks and balance system with our kids' teacher through their messenger because he was running his snack game and eating everything ahead of time and then telling him we weren't sending him anything. So now we send a message every day with exactly what he's carrying to school because he's a liar.
There's not enough things to do in the day. That's just one more thing. Like, oh, you know what? Let me do this today. Yesterday I had to sign Claire up for her soccer league for the spring. 2 hours. 2 hours on this thing of like, wait, I need a birth certificate. I need a doctor. I need all this stuff. I had to go through this whole thing. Then I had to click on to soccer.com to buy the uniform. Literally 2 hours. It took me 2 hours to log the kid in. I reached out to the coach. I was like, am I insane or is this? He goes, no, it's super painful. I feel like I used to bring home a piece of paper and my father would just like, he goes, just sign it yourself. And that was the end of it.
Oh yeah. Or you just like, I had my dad's signature down like to a T in high school. Nice. Totally. And he knew it. He was like, just, he'd be like, oh yeah, they asked me if you had another audition, because I would always sign myself out. Then my boyfriend and I would go do something fun. So,
wow. You were auditioning for him. Oh, okay.
Oh.
You have 3 kids, right? And they're older. Yeah. They're getting 11.
Me, 11, 9, and 6.
11, 9, and 6. Okay, so at least 11, 9. You're in the realm of where I am. How do you manage food in your house? Really?
We have a cabinet where all of
what?
Describe this.
Your food's just not heaped into a giant pile in the middle of the kitchen? This is insane. Since when?
No, where did your money come from?
It's made out of wood though, and it has a door. Oh my god. Okay, we have royalty. All of the junk food and stuff that we don't want the kids to get into. And we used to just tell them to stay out of it, but they wouldn't. And then we were just like, oh no. So now I got a fucking biometric fingerprint lock. But my husband can't figure out how to do it. So I am the only one who can open this cabinet. So every time anyone needs like Doritos, I have to come into the room and
Betsy,
open it.
you're gonna wake up with your finger missing, and I'm just telling you how it's
Don't
gonna
ever
go.
see your kids like a Jason Bourne movie or anything. Like you're dead. You're dead.
Well, Dave Schrader just reminded me that Jace actually, because I refused to let him have Cool Ranch Doritos at 8:30 in the morning, ran away and told the neighbors that it was because we didn't feed him.
Oh my God, that is diabolical.
Yeah, he's a straight up savage.
That's not even the Dark Lord, if you can imagine it, Betsy.
What?
No, he's number 2. We've got one hope of a child taking care of us when we're old.
Yeah, it's Jace.
No, it's
Oh,
Logan.
It's Logan, the other twin.
It's crazy. Man.
Does anybody else here have friends who pack their kids' bento boxes and then take pictures of it on the internet and put? Does anybody else follow an account like that?
Okay, so my friend is Jenny Mullen, who created Dictator's Lunches, who is like probably, we go like back like 20 years, and I hate her now. she does that whole thing, she's married to Jason Biggs, and she's kind of dropped off a little bit, of doing it, but for so long it was like, this is the amazing lunch of sushi, and like all these, not only was the food phenomenal, it was in like fun shapes.
And
Yeah, that's violence. That's violence against other mothers.
Thank you, Betsy. Exactly. Thank you.
And why isn't she sponsoring our podcast? I
don't know. Claire just said, I hate her now.
She's actually one of my favorite people in the entire world. She's super smart, very artistic, and very funny.
Okay, now we'll cut the other part out. I mean, it's not like it's going out live or anything. It's not a big deal. So Ari's talking about the fingerprint lock and stuff, and my kids, I was kind of laying on the couch napping, and my kid took my phone and held it over my face to open it. And I kind of caught her. I mean, she was kind of joking it, but she did it. And at first I was getting mad, but then I was like, well, what if she might need it to call 911? Because what if I wasn't sleeping? What if I'm literally dead? And she's like, you better get help. So I kind of was like, listen, only check for a pulse. If there's no pulse, use my face. But then other than that, you're on.
Guys, spoiler alert, Jamie's been dead the whole time too.
Okay, Jamie, my kids would do that with my thumbprint. So I had to take my thumbprint off my phone, and now I only have the key touch.
Wait, what were they doing, Claire?
They were, while I was sleeping, they would come up to me with the phone and be like, try real gentle to be like, because Betsy, I don't allow my children to have phones because I'm a horrible human and a horrible mother. No. And so the almost 14 and almost 12-year-old are like,
locked it down. That's amazing.
Get Ari writing. Ari, that's the new title right there. Girl Boss, Crime Boss. That sells right there.
Right there.
The new Netflix show.
Wow.
When you said I'm taking my thumbprint off, I thought it was going to end there and that you were like Kevin Spacey in Seven where you were sanding them down. It's like, see, Betsy, we think alike. We go to the darkest corner of the room.
Oh, she seared them off.
And I'm like, yeah. Sanding it down. Like
Speaking of providing food for the kids, does dinner come more than once a day? Because it feels like it's always time to be thinking of dinner. I feel like all I do is navigate meals and how do I feed them dinner again every day. Is dinner no one else's problem?
I've given up, and now it's just like
you know what we did to kind of to curb some of that. We just go to Sam's Club and walk around and let them get the hors d'oeuvres.
Hors d'oeuvres? I've never heard that before.
That's genius.
Where have I been? Dude, that's genius. Hors d'oeuvres.
He's running a snack game.
Oh no! Running a snack game is right. Oh my God.
Sam's Club sandwich.
Yeah, because awesome. you just go on it's like going to the world of food at Epcot. You just walk through and you try all the different hors d'oeuvres, and then you're on.
Can I tell you, as a dad, feeding the kids isn't really the hard part. The hard part is your wife judging you for what you just fed them.
Oh.
She's like, really? You're gonna do chicken nuggets again? And was there a vegetable involved? Yeah. Hey, dude, relax for a second. Like the week she was gone, dinner was great. I mean, yeah, they had mac and cheese 4 straight nights, but that's not no. Jason's been doing some cooking videos. He actually has a huge bunch of recipes that he's been sharing with people.
And
I like to cook.
casserole. The
The
casserole.
fascinating thing is there's only 3 things they eat. So
Yeah.
it's
No.
and they won't eat the same. Claire loves tacos. Hannah won't touch them. Claire
my
likes
God.
certain types of pizza. Hannah will only have the thick crust. It's like they fought over mac and cheese. One day they fought over one wanted Annie's and one wanted Velveeta. I was like, dude, you're killing me.
Oh, my house is the same way, Jamie.
So I put my foot down. I put the meal out and I go, that's it. No more food for the rest of the night. Fuck you, basically. And then, an hour later, they're sobbing, and my wife she goes, I'll make them some eggs. There's the problem.
Yeah.
They'll eat it, or they'll go to bed hungry. That's your 2 choices. But you can't at the last second then bend and go, you know what? Let me make her a turkey and mayo sandwich. You can't do that. You have got to stick by your guns, or they won't eat it.
Jamie,
It's hard. I mean, it's really hard, the food situation,
Well, you have 4. I can't even imagine feeding 4. The 2 of them alone are a nightmare. 4? That's insanity.
Well,
we
we
go
go
that's
through.
feeding 3.
Yeah. What?
Claire, did you take out a second mortgage on your house in order to feed them? Like, how's that working? How are you doing it?
Who?
Both of, I mean, just anybody with more than 2 kids. I guess like Claire has 4. Betsy, you have 3. There's 5
Well,
people in your house. There's 5 people in Claire's house. It's a lot of people.
Wait, Claire, how many?
My kids, they pack their lunches for school most days, unless I text the chef at 8 a.m. like, oops, sorry, I didn't pack their lunch. Can they get hot lunch? So they pack their lunches. They all have to have something substantial between 3 and 4 because River will go to dance for 5 hours. The boys go to soccer for 2 hours. There's like massive athleticism happening. So I have to have today I had strawberries, grapes, cheese, turkey, pepperoni, which is the best thing in the entire world because it's turkey, but it's meat and pepperoni. And
I got caught up on the one moment where you were texting the chef at the school. That's
That's what I do.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Yeah.
These are Claire's stories. All of a sudden, she drops these little bombs, and then she just walks away. And you're like, "But back up."
Wait, so what chef are you
Texting the chef in the
Your
morning.
Personal chef, the chef at the school.
Well, there's a chef at the school. His name's Chef. We call him Chef. It's like South Park. We call him Chef. He's a really good guy. I know him well. I've shopped with him for festivals. We go shopping at the Restaurant Depot. He's a good guy.
he's amazing, and he totally.
But you have to put your order in by the night before. Do you not order hot meals for the kids?
No, I never do it the night before. I only text him in the morning, or sometimes I call him at 11.
Well, also 4 kids, it's like $8 a meal. It's $32 a day times a month of 30 days. You're like, how much did I just pay to feed my kids? And then they throw it out anyway, and then they come home and eat me out of house and home. It's crazy.
Right. So that's why now I have a new system. So, and I'll take a picture of it for next week. But the system is if each kid packs their lunch each day they pack their lunch over the 5 days, they can earn $1 each. So, for example, Hart could earn $5 a week. However, if he notices other kids aren't packing their lunches and he wants to step in and pack River or Sky's lunch or Gavin's lunch, he can earn up to $4 a day. So this is working out really, really well because my 2 motivated ones out of the 4, which I won't name names, but I have 2 that are very motivated. They're getting up and packing their lunches, earning their money, earning their $1 per day, and also sometimes stepping in and saying, I'll pack this one's, I'll pack this one's. So yeah,
I am sick of paying my kids to do shit they should be doing. You know what they earn? You earn food, brother. Eat up. Wait, I don't get $1 for making my own lunch? No, you should be paying me for the food I gave you. No, I can't. I'm not with you on this, Claire. I'm not with you.
You know what? But they don't get allowance. They don't have phones. This is their one opportunity. And I also have a chore chart. In the art cabinet, here's it's worth $5 to me. Here's the $5. If you want to clean the pantry, it's worth $4 or $5 to me.
I'll come over and clean the pantry and make their meals. Well, how much
will I get if I make your kids' lunches?
Yeah, I'll send lunches in.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to make Claire look like just like a mean mom because I'm going to tell you what I just paid my kid for just yesterday. I paid him to take a shit. I'm not kidding you.
Whoa.
Well, that I get. That I understand.
Wait, was he?
That one I get.
Was he just clenching tightly? He's like, "This is not happening."
There's obviously something going on with like when you've got like, so he's the one with alopecia. He's got so there's like a gut health thing that definitely has to do with autoimmune diseases, where like basically we went to this alopecia convention and we found out that like the thing that's the most effective to get rid of alopecia is a fecal transplant. Like somebody could do a fecal transplant and he could grow his hair. We don't need his hair to grow back that much, but there's something going on. So he will hold, I'm not kidding you, he'll be like, I'm full from dinner after he has a bite.
No.
And he'll just be like, and I'm like, you have to poop. And he's like, nope, I actually don't. So I don't. So that's all. I don't have to. And I'm like, you're
just like, let's make it rain.
I was like, I bet you like if you go poop right now, I'm gonna owe you $5. Kid let out we call it from the Harry Potter a basilisk. It was just this it was like,
did you get the poop knife out to cut it? You got to cut them.
Oh, what's happening?
You got to get the poop knife out.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Betsy. I can tell that this was not the conversation.
Yeah.
But that is, I mean, that's absurd to pay your kid shit.
Hey, by the way, Kate, if you need a fecal donor for the fecal transplant, I got plenty. I
don't even know. I have so many questions. I will hit you up after, Kate.
Okay. I'm trying to unpack.
Honestly, I would love to hear how the fecal fecal transplant. So they take poop. Is it because of the bacteria and you're trying to change the bacteria in your system?
So,
that makes
Tig
sense.
Notaro is sort of the most famous one that went through this. I talk about her like I know her, but I don't. Betsy maybe does.
Star Trek Discovery, right? For those who don't know.
What'd you say?
Star Trek Discovery.
Yes, yeah. And basically she had cancer and then she ended up getting C. diff, which is like this horrible disease that you get a lot of times from being hospitalized, but it's just basically like you lose all sorts of weight because you have just incessant horrible, like nothing, you're not getting any nutrition value from anything. Everything goes right through you. My grandmother had it for a while.
Oh no.
And the way to get rid of it is basically they put you on antibiotics, but what do antibiotics do for you? Give you diarrhea. So it's just like this cruel thing. So her show on Amazon Prime was called One Mississippi. If you ever saw it, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And her stepfather, so in the middle of her having cancer and having C. diff, her mother dies. So she's like now dealing with this. And then her stepfather is like, well, I can do the fecal transplant. It has to be somebody that's regular, somebody who like same time every day, same amount of whatever. And basically they donate their feces. I don't know how it gets implanted, but basically the good bacteria from that.
I think you have to eat it.
Snort it.
You snort some.
Rails.
I think you put a couple in your ear. Hey, this might be insane, but I know medieval science that we have nowadays. Would it be possible to take out of the actual feces the part that would, like the bacteria that would then help?
That's maybe what they do. I guess.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That's a good
Great
point.
question. It's a good point.
I don't think they're just taking
This is
the good fecal matter, but also the ribs you ate last week. And,
yeah.
I'm sure what we're picturing is so
crazy
compared to what it actually is.
I'll look it up, guys.
Can we all just agree that the human body is so disgusting? Can we? I never knew until I had kids just how absolutely disgusting the human body is. It's pretty. I know. It's just a horrifying. You know, when you see in the movies when it just blows up and explodes and just like melts or something, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
I just saw that Ari asked if I paid my kid to shit in an enemy's car.
Nice.
Now let me ask you. We're talking about food and stuff. Somebody went to a hippie farm.
That was me.
Did you go to a hippie farm? We were talking about stuff earlier. Was that you were chatting?
Yeah, that was me. I went to a.
Was it healthy? Let's get health food kind of place.
It was a hippie farm. It was called the Gentle Barn. And I didn't quite know what I was getting into. I thought we were just gonna go like see some animals, and but it was like first of all of the food there was vegan. So if you needed to eat, it was all vegan, which sounds great. But if your kids are hungry, an $8 vegan hot dog that they take one little tiny bite of and then refuse, that dog won't hunt. But they had all these animals, and they really encouraged you to like hug them. They were like, come hug this cow, come hug this goat, like hug this emu. It was lovely.
Hugging a goat seems risky.
Where the farm is? Tell us more.
You say where?
Kate, Claire will text the chef at the vegan farm.
What did you ask me, Claire? It went out for a second.
Where is the farm? Is it around Los Angeles?
Yes, it's in Santa Clarita.
Of course it is. Where do you think it is? Where do you think the Gentle Farm is?
It was lovely.
It's
but it
definitely
was
in Los Angeles. It's not in Idaho. There's nothing gentle about any farm in Idaho. Those are called the evil farms. Now, let me ask you. I mean, those animals, obviously, when they age, say they just die of old age. Can you eat them then?
I don't think so.
Or they just bury them and the whole thing's...
Their bodies become the grass, Jamie.
Well, vegan, can you have, like, the milk from the goat? Or is that...
That is a great question. I don't know the answer.
It's vegan, which means you don't eat any of
no animal products at all. So
nothing. But also, if the animal isn't bred for consumption, let's just be honest, it's going to be a totally different type of very lean meat versus the very like plump, grain-fed, nasty meat that we all love.
Somebody, for the love of God, you got to read Ari's text, because people who are just listening to this on iTunes can't hear. So Ari texted in.
So Ari wrote one thing about the Gentle Farm was the gruesome backstories they insisted on putting with all the animals.
Of course, Ari.
It's true. This is Buttercup. She survived severe abuse for years. It's true. There was one horse that didn't have an eye. And yeah, it was awful. And every animal had a volunteer. And if you were like, "Oh, can I pet this animal?" They'd be like, "Yes." And then they would be like, and Buttercup was, yeah.
They were like Meisner, yes, and.
Was Sarah McLachlan music just playing on a loop in the back? Wings of an angel.
Just crying, hugging cows.
You actually, admission to the Gentle Farm actually gets you a ticket to Lilith Fair. So
that's true. And
you guys, a friend who's watching the show just sent me a link to explain how a fecal transplant's done.
And, I can't wait to learn.
Yeah, it's
Kate Mulligan on a very special episode of The Parents Lounge.
Go ahead, please.
A fecal okay, sorry. I just lost it. Okay, sorry. Basically, doctors collect a donor's bowel movement and mix it with saline solution, then strain it through a coffee filter.
Oh, that's okay.
So it's like a salted caramel poop espresso.
Yeah. The result is this feels like they're gilding the lily. They're like, it's a brown liquid. Yeah, no, we got that. Like, you could have just said a real liquid.
This is less scientific than I thought.
Yeah. The result is a brown liquid that contains the good bacteria. The doctor injects it deep into your colon using a long, flexible tube called a colonoscope.
He can call it whatever he wants. We know what's happening.
Follow-up question. Can you do your own fecal transplant?
I don't see why not.
I mean, there's all the ingredients, like baking a cake, basically.
Yeah, except for unless we go by your recipe.
It's just a pour over. It's a pour over cup. That's it. Just pour over, let it set for like 20 minutes, and then just shoot it up.
Fill your coffee machine with saline solution.
Yeah, just do it like black tar heroin. Do a headstand in the corner and just let it slowly drip down into your system.
Meanwhile, this took a turn again.
Meanwhile, Jamie's asked the question, couldn't they just take the bacteria out of the fecal matter? I'm like, yeah, with saline solution and a coffee filter.
That's true. We actually, Ari, thank you for writing that because we do. Just to let everyone know, the Parents Lounge does not endorse doing any of your own fecal transplants, but we're not going to stop you. And if you do, please, we'll have you as a guest.
We'd like to have you as a guest.
Crapfay. I was trying to think of a good name for like an Americano or something with the.
I'm ready to move on from that.
All right, Claire's done, guys. All right, that's it. Claire's done. She's had enough. And Claire's right. Claire's always right.
Hey, will you consider this for your son?
The main thing is that
There's the writer, Crappuccino. God dang it! I really was trying to find that, and I couldn't find it.
Why? It was right there.
Damn you, Ari.
So good.
Claire, this is what I would say. I would say that we right now hope that our son just grows up loving his alopecia and that he doesn't want hair, because that would be ideal. So we're trying to make him feel special and awesome and like it's his special skill and his superpower and there's nothing wrong with him and he doesn't need it. That being said, if like it became an emotional toll on him, I would do that before I did immunosuppressants, because immunosuppressants, they're like, this is called a JAK inhibitor. It shuts down one lane of your immuno highway. And then also you might get leukemia. And I'm like, well, let's just put someone's poop in him, you know?
Kate, how does he feel about it? Like what's his day-to-day with it?
Wait, just really quick. Whatever's happening in Claire's camera, I can so relate to right now.
Yes. Yep.
This is my life. Just trying to zoom and then a
Hi.
child puts their hand in.
Hi. Are you the one that makes everyone's lunches?
No, this is the baby. Sky, say hi.
Okay.
Hi. Oh my God.
Bye-bye. Okay.
He's the one. Is that the one that fell off the table?
No.
No,
that was
River. That was the one that.
Wait, Claire, I love that your kids are like, you said River, Heart, Sky, and Gavin?
Yes, Gavin is the oldest. And Gavin is a girl. And when I just had locked into the nature thing, so now she's real mad at me. Why am I the only one without a nature name? And I'm like, babe, your name means, white hawk. That's what your name is. So she's happy with that. She's happy with that.
Does Gavin mean white hawk?
Yeah. White falcon or some white hawk, something like that.
In what language?
It's a bird.
In like Native American, or I don't know.
It's chickens. Something.
Did you watch Nell? Is it a made up language like Nell, like from Jodie Foster, where she just makes up words?
Nell, or yeah.
Gavin means white. It's a falcon. Falcon type of animal.
It's from. You should tell Gavin it was either that or Tatanka from. Tatanka. Yeah.
All right, it's a giraffe.
It's a giraffe. Oh, there you go. Fantastic.
I have a question for everybody. Did anyone's kids come home with lessons from MLK? My first grader came home and tried to explain Martin Luther King to me on Saturday.
Yeah. And
Martin Luther King got shot because somebody did not agree with him. And I go, no true words have ever been spoken. That's exactly.
Yes.
So that was basically the whole lesson. I don't know what the lesson was at school, but when she came home, she encapsulated it into Reader's Digest, Claire's version. And she said, did you know that Martin Luther King got shot because someone did not agree with him? And I said, yeah. Do you guys see that when the kids come home with lessons where you're like, hey, I guess in a way that makes sense. Yeah. Like it's hard to put it into like, and I didn't know how I would say it to a first grader to be like, people suck for the most part.
That's the problem, is I would load it in a way that it doesn't necessarily, they're not learning anything from the way I load it, but I'd be like, well, somebody who was insecure with their own skin, who had daddy issues, who like, I would not like, because there's such, like, I can't just say it as simply as like, yeah, you didn't agree with him. I'd be like, he was a terrible human who, like, and then I'd also probably be like, and also, by the way, the hotel he was staying at, he had just left his mistress's room, by the way. So also
people are complicated. Look, we contain multitudes.
Yeah. Violence is a man who's run out of words. That's all you need to know, and then move on.
Well, Jason would bring home a paper medal that said "Peace starts with me," and then he wrote his name on it.
Oh.
It's crazy when you see them at that age. They're so innocent and so beautiful, and everything out of their mouth is so sweet. But then you know that half that class is going to grow up and just not
You guys,
going to work out great.
my son, my middle kid, was so inspired by Martin Luther King Jr. that he wanted to have a Martin Luther King Jr. themed birthday party when he turned like 5 or 6. And
Did you do it?
Well, for a minute we were like, okay, I guess we'll get an impersonator. I don't know, how is this gonna work?
You're like,
But, you know, it's so awesome because they're so impressionable at that age.
Yes.
My other son, that was Sky, who you guys just met. Hart, I remember I was driving him to preschool, and they were learning about Martin Luther King Jr., and he had colored a picture of himself black, and he was like this, and I'm like, okay. And both his preschool teachers were black, and the other one was Cuban. So he really had no color, whatever. And so he asked me then, and I, we hung the picture up, and then he asked me a couple days later, he was like, Mom, he's like, I have a question for you. I'm like, yeah. He's like, am I black? And I was like, well, no. I said, honey, there's like 7 layers to your skin, and only the very top layer is different. And our skin happens to be what they call like Caucasian or white. I said, but really there's no difference until you get that very top layer. And that just has to be like the sun and people up. He's like, okay. He's like, okay, I get it. And then he goes, Mom, can I ask you another question? I go, yeah. He goes, are you black? And I was like, no. But it's just that age. They just don't see the, which is a good and a bad thing from a white perspective. Of course, we always want to be, really cognizant of the fact that black children don't have the same experience or Asian children or whatever. But it was just really interesting to me.
Well, my kids know that they need more sunscreen than any other kid at school. That's all they really know about their skin at this point, is that they are SPF infinity. And that's like my 2 little gingers are going to be like that. Hey, did you put up Ari's? So this was, by the way, Ari and Betsy, this has to be a scene in a sitcom where the kid keeps asking to have his birthday be like MLK themed. And then, there's one African-American kid who comes to the party and the parents are like, I'm sorry, what's happening here? Like the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Every time I quoted it to anyone, they were like, Betsy, you can't have an impersonator at being Martin Luther King at the party.
Well, I never thought impersonator, but that would be really funny when you're like.
Well, so we actually ended up having a Hillary Clinton themed birthday party.
Oh,
that's not true. That didn't happen.
This is true.
I believe that. That's
this
okay.
is true.
You need to Pinterest that shit for people to latch onto.
Really
I hope you did all of that.
I should have.
But there's probably not many MLK impersonators, such you had to get like a Michael Jackson impersonator, and then he kind of would cover all bases.
And then he would come and we would have to have him do face painting, and it would be weird.
But trust me, that show, by the way, is going to get petitioned. I've already been canceled from this conversation.
We did have Hillary Clinton, though. She came to our house and she did do face painting.
Oh.
And
what's scary is it was really Hillary Clinton, wasn't it? It was really. Chelsea waited in the car the whole day.
You could book her on her emails, so that was cool. You just send her an email to her.
Yeah.
Email joke guy. It was just.
I'll leave you guys. We got to wrap pretty soon here. Is anyone as crazy as we are and still sending out Christmas cards? Did you get?
No, you mean at this time of year?
We're still getting Christmas cards. So
I'm sending them.
Oh, you're sending them now. So I'll lead you in with this, is that here's how we send Christmas cards. We don't have a list. When a Christmas card comes in, we take the address, we write it onto our Christmas card, and out it goes. So unfortunately, they're still dribbling in, so ours are still going out. Claire, are you dealing with this?
Jamie, I threw away the list like probably 6 or 7 years ago. And I said, you send me a card, I send you a card. Quid pro quo. You know, I'm not dealing with keeping a list, like tracking you down. Did you move? Do I need to update it? I haven't moved in, I basically moved into this house in 2005. So if you have my address, I'm here. You know, I'm here. It's like my cell number. Text me.
Yeah.
Were you guys also the ones that when dating, you're like, they can call me. They can call me.
No.
I can tell you this.
Insane method. I'm sorry.
I just called a guy today I haven't talked to in 2 years since before the pandemic. I moved to Indiana, and for some reason anytime I'm in the car, I was like, who should I call? And so I'm the first guy to pick. I'm sick of texting bullshit. I pick up and people are like, what are you calling for? And I go, I don't know, just catching up. Like I'm a crazy person like that.
I'm just saying, it feels like that would be, it seems like you have people like, don't you have family that definitely get a card? Don't you only send your parents?
Honestly, I don't even think I sent any to my brothers and sisters unless they sent one to us. It's literally one comes in, one goes out. That's it. There's no.
And I ordered 100 this year, and I'm going to refine my order to 75 next year. Because for 2 years in a row, I ordered 100, and I'm like, I don't use all these. I'm more of a 75 guy.
My wife orders 100, needs 102, so she orders a second 100, and then we throw out 98. It's mayhem. She does the same when she cooks. Like we had kids over the other day, so she made like 20 boxes of mac and cheese, and I was like, well, they're not going to eat this, and I threw out like pots and pots of food because she overcooks stuff all the time.
We got our holiday cards from Staples this year. I want to say
I'm going to send out. I see this every year. I want to send out a St. Patrick's Day card. I'm going to I'm going to put us all in Irish knit sweaters. I'm going to sit us at the bar. I'm going to have my little scally cap, and I'm going to put pints of Guinness in front of all the kids, and we're just going to look over our shoulder and take a photo. And I want to send it out as my.
But Jamie, that's going to be problematic because nobody's going to send you a St. Patrick's Day card.
So Kate, you were saying, or Betsy, you were saying you got your cards from Staples, and then I want to touch on a St. Patty's thing. But yes, I want to hear about the Staples.
I heard Staten. I didn't hear Staples. I heard Staten, and I was like,
I just wanted to caution everyone against it because this year I was like, I'm going to save some money. I'm going to get a Groupon, and I'm going to get my cards at Staples, and it was the worst. We all have weird, blurry blue faces. And I sent them back. They were like, we are so sorry. They redid them. Same fucking exact blue blurry faces. So now I have like 200 blurry blue face cards. Please don't give Staples your money at Christmas time.
Can I ask you, Betsy, a real quick question? Do you think you could prove it? Could you prove it? Could you prove it to us that you have blue faces in your Christmas card? In other words, could you go get one? I really want to see it.
You want to see it right now?
Yes.
Ari, bring me a Christmas card.
Stop leaving comments and go grab a card, Ari.
Yeah.
Stop showing us all up, Ari.
We never even.
We fucking got a professional photographer, and this is all we had to show for it.
Oh my God, that's so you're all like a little Smurfy.
Yeah.
And when you say professional photographer, you just mean a buddy of yours from the theater? Is that pretty much what you're saying?
Yeah, the cheapest one I could find.
Who, by the way, said, I'm a professional. No, you're not.
Dave.
Here we go.
Here we go. Oh, wow. Uh-huh. Well, okay.
I like that. That looks like a really nice
They're
picture.
really cute. They're really
Look
cute.
how our shirts and our skin is the same color.
That is weird.
His arm. Yeah, your husband's
You
arm.
all look like your family members of the little girl from The Ring.
I don't know if it's Staples' fault or that might be the wardrobe consultants because you look like a 5-headed creature. It looks like one blue creature with 5 heads sticking out of it. Is that wrong? Am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. Ari knows what I'm talking about.
Betsy, do me a favor. Will you send one to Jamie so we can see what his Christmas card looks like?
And then you'll get one back. If you say anything, anytime you send something to me, I'll send it right back. I should actually put your card back into the envelope with it. So it's just you. Because here's the thing. My wife saves them for years. Everybody's Christmas cards. So when I unpack like the ornaments and the tree and everything, there's like 20 12 years of Christmas cards in there. And every year I go to throw them out. She goes, no, they make me so happy.
You know what's funny,
Jamie,
Jamie?
are you checking whose list you drop off of? Are you saying like, well, in 2018, we got, 5, but in 2016 we got 97, and in 2020 we got 80.
Could not care less. Could not care. Honestly, I am so anti all of that. That's not my jam. I'm not a big card guy. I hate cards. I had a fight guy with the other guy. I was like, I wanted to give the kid. My wife was like going to go to Target to get a present or something, and so I go, well, let's just give the kid $25, man. And she's like, you can't do that. God forbid you just give the kid money. And she goes, no, we'll get him a Target gift card. I go, that's just money that you can only use at one fucking place.
Yeah.
That's less caring than here's cash. You can do anything you want with it. Put it in the bank. Use it for college, whatever you want.
You know what I like to do? Write a check. Because it's a little bit of a gamble that they won't cash it.
Oh, that's so sneaky. That's so sneaky.
Sorry.
I'm like, this is like an 80-20 here. I like playing the odds, but I'm going to win.
Listen, Ari, I got to go put my kids to bed too. What else do we need to wrap up here?
I just want to know if anybody else is going to miss Ari tonight. I'm going to miss someone.
Yeah, he needs to come back. Everybody needs
So
to
far, Ari's been my favorite guest. Wait, what?
That's our favorite guest. How dare you?
My favorite. Come on, Betsy.
We need to do, here's what we need to do. We need to do an oldie wed game where we have the first portion has the one parent in. We go through all the questions, then that parent leaves to watch the kids, then the other parent comes in, we ask them the questions, and then we ridicule them.
Dave was one of our favorites too. Sorry, Dave Schrader in the chat, also one of our favorites.
Way to insult Schrader, Jamie.
I meant, of course, Schrader's always number one. Whenever I say my favorite guest, it always falls in them. I mean, that's inferred because everyone knows TV's Dave. I mean, Dave Schrader's not even a guest. When he's on, it's his show. We don't even consider him a guest. He's like the host who's just not here all the time.
Betsy, just a little bit of backstory. Dave Schrader, I don't know where your story is about a kid you didn't know you had, but Dave Schrader came full of stories of him finding his real daughter and him after it was like a woman that he had lost his virginity to at 14. So
Here's what I loved. You go, Betsy, you don't know what it's like to not have a kid that you don't know existed or something. Like, I'm pretty sure if she had a kid, she would know it. I don't know if you know. I feel like having a child that you don't know anything about is strictly a male-oriented problem.
There was a female that had that joke, though.
Is there a female who has a joke that says, I had a kid, I don't know where
I'm trying to figure out who the mother is. It's like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Every year there's a couple of like 15-year-olds who have a kid who go, I don't know that. They're at a school dance and they don't feel good. Yeah. And they have a kid, right? I like to end shows on a horrible note. So
I would have sold my eggs in college if I could have. And maybe had one of these problems, but I went to NYU and they all needed you to be from going to Harvard and shit.
Oh, Jesus. The show just got extended by 2 hours because Claire and Betsy are going to go down an NYU rabbit hole.
I'm going to message you after this broadcast, Betsy, and talk. Right. I was in Brittany. I was in Carlisle.
Go Violets! I was in Carlisle.
Oh. Okay, we're gonna talk.
You guys totally made out in college and you don't even remember it.
Totally possible.
I love
it. Actually, probably pretty possible. Well,
you were in the theater program. You made out with pretty much everyone of every gender.
That's the purpose of theater. Why else would you join theater except to make out with people? That was the best part about all of it.
Do like Tai Chi and tap.
I mean, I only went to Boston University, where I don't know if you know a gentleman who went there named Martin Luther King Jr. He went to Boston University.
Oh, really? I do.
I mean, we didn't go to school at the same time, but he apparently.
Well, that part feels like the lie.
He got a doctorate in theology. I got a political science degree that's still rolled up in a tube. So I think he did better there than I did. But all right, next episode we'll do some NYU stories. Does somebody else want to take us out?
We had a special episode on Thursday night with Kristen and Jen from My Mom So Hard.
We recorded a special episode with and actually it's pretty great. And we gave them a pretty heavy quiz to find out who mommed the hardest. And I'm not going to wreck it, but somebody definitely mommed harder than the other one.
Bruce
And so
Willis.
Jen and they're heading out on tour next week. So we did a little promotional podcast with them. They were super funny, and we're going to support their tour. Yeah, the I'm Mom So Hard Getaway Tour. They'll be out starting next week. So we have a really special episode this Thursday night that will air. So definitely tune into that. Thanks to everybody. Betsy Stover, where can everybody find Why Mommy Drinks It? I love the podcast. It's so great.
Fantastic.
Aw, thanks. Yeah, everyone subscribe to Why Mommy Drinks. It's a weekly podcast. Everyone comes on and shares a story of a time their kids drove them to drink. Jason and Jamie have been on, and so has Kate. And it's been a fucking delight. And Claire, you should come on the show.
I'm just thinking, like, Betsy, how do I pick just what? It's one story out of like what is the story? You have to help me, but I will absolutely come on. I can't wait.
I mean, honestly, if you wanted a more specific podcast, it would be like, why today did Mommy not drink? Like that would be.
Yeah.
More.
I mean, thankfully, I do it every week, so I never run out of.
You're a consummate professional. She needs the sound levels. She's like, Kate, you need to prop up your mic. You're too quiet. Let's get like.
I will go into my proper studio for you, Betsy. I have a studio, but I've been, relaxing at home.
Yeah, yes. we don't get Claire's best. She just phones it in from home here. No. Listen, we'll have a nice glass of milk and we'll all move on with that. All right, everybody, if you are listening to this on iTunes, for the love of God, please subscribe and write a golden review. Mention Claire, and you can rip Mulligan in the review as much as you want.
Yes.
I love Mulligan. I'm just going to go on the record saying she is the best other woman on the show.
Well, we keep bringing her back, so apparently she must be doing something.
You guys definitely don't do that because I read.
You like me. You definitely like me.
I always read what people say because I'm not busy at all, and I always let it affect me.
Me too.
Because I think June Squibb 22 really knows that I'm an asshat. I don't know, June Squibb.
June Squibb, yeah. The actress from About Schmidt.
I don't know. It's what I came up with first.
Don't pull me on movie details. I don't know. Maybe I think I'll never say About Schmidt. June Squibb. All right, that's it. Definitely subscribe. Share it to a friend if you know somebody who needs help parenting, obviously. I mean, I did read this article the other day where that's like, because of the pandemic, parents have had like the worst 2 years. And everyone's like, sometimes like during this pandemic, it's just, you have to survive it. And so when we're giving our kids Doritos or whatever, or just going, shut up and get on your iPad, sometimes we, like, especially my wife, we feel guilty, but you know what? Just survive in advance, try to get through this thing, and hopefully the world will open up a lot soon.
And we're here live every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, and you can catch us at Facebook.com, Twitch, and YouTube.
That's it. See you next week here in the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Stop the Kate hate.